Picture this, September 19th, 2025. The waters of Singapore are calm, almost deceptively peaceful. A 52-year-old man from Assam takes his final breath beneath those waves. And with him dies the voice of an entire generation. His name was Zubeen Garg, and his story isn't just about music. It's about revolution disguised as melody, rebellion wrapped in rhythm, and a soul that refused to be silenced. They called him the heartbeat of Assam, but what does that really mean? When someone becomes the pulse of millions, when their voice carries the dreams and defiance of an entire people, what kind of burden does that become? Today we're diving deep into the life of a man who dared to sing in 40 languages while never forgetting the soil that raised him. 1992, a young artist from Tura releases an album called Anamika, The Unnamed. Little did anyone know, this unnamed collection of songs would name a generation. The folk rock explosion wasn't just music, it was a cultural earthquake. Young Assamese people finally had a voice that understood their restlessness, their hopes, their refusal to be boxed in by tradition. But here's where Zubeen's genius truly emerged. He didn't let regional success become a regional prison. While other artists might have stayed safely in their comfort zones, Zubeen used Assam as his launching pad, not his landing place. He took that folk rock foundation and built something magnificent on top of it. 2006. The movie Gangster hits theaters, and with it comes a song that would change everything, Ya Ali. Suddenly this voice from the northeast wasn't just Assam's secret anymore. Bollywood had discovered Zubeen Garg, but more importantly, Zubeen had discovered he could use Bollywood to amplify his homeland's heartbeat. This is where the story gets beautiful and complex. Most artists who taste mainstream success forget where they came from. Not Zubeen. He weaponized his national platform, using that Bollywood money, that pan-Indian recognition to validate and elevate Assamese culture. He became a cultural ambassador who never needed a passport. Let's talk about roots, because Zubeen's ran deeper than most trees. Tura, Meghalaya. A family steeped in creativity, surrounded by cultural richness that most people only dream of. He once said, "Music is my soul and Assam is my heartbeat. Everything I create stems from this deep connection." That connection wasn't just poetic, it was his anchor in a storm of fame. 12 instruments. Let that sink in. Not just the obvious ones, not just guitar and drums. We're talking about the dhol, the traditional Assamese percussion that carries the rhythm of festivals, the dhodar that whispers ancient melodies alongside harmonica, tabla, and sounds most musicians have never even heard of. Zubeen didn't just play music. He was music, embodied it, breathed it. Sevji Path. Listen to it once and you'll understand why millions fell in love with it. That beautiful folk melody, so traditional it could have been sung by their grandparents, and yet somehow completely modern. But then, jarring shift, came yantram, meaning machine, a biting critique of capitalism, of how modern life turns humans into machines. One man, two completely different songs, infinite artistic courage. But Zubeen wasn't content to just sing, he had to challenge. Non-religious, he declared. Casteless, he proclaimed. And then came the most powerful statement of all, refusing to wear the sacred thread, the Upanayana, that his Brahmin birth entitled him to. In a society built on hierarchy, this wasn't rebellion, this was revolution. Politics? Zubeen's relationship with politics was refreshingly honest. When asked about singing for both Congress and BJP in his early days, he didn't spin it. Didn't make excuses. I needed the money. That brutal honesty, that refusal to pretend made his later activism feel authentic, uncompromised. And then came the Citizenship Amendment Act, and Zubeen's voice became a weapon of resistance. Rajniti no koriba bondhu, don't do politics friend, became the anthem of peaceful protest. Not party politics, not partisan attacks, just truth. Raw, unfiltered, dangerous truth sung to melodies that could make stones weep. But truth comes with a price, and Zubeen paid it repeatedly. 2017, the Bodo stage incident. He starts singing a Hindi song, Dil Tu Hi Bata, and the organizers stop him. This stage is for Assamese only. He walked off, furious. 25 years of singing, thousands of songs, and suddenly he's told he can't express himself in the language of his choice? The Ulfa threats were real, dangerous, life-threatening for the crime of singing in languages other than Assamese. Can you imagine an artist threatened with violence for being too versatile? This is the tightrope Zubeen walked every day, between regional pride and artistic freedom, between loyalty and expression. Kela, a crude Assamese slang that would make your grandmother blush. But when Zubeen used it, young people didn't just laugh. They felt seen. He wasn't speaking polished celebrity language. He was speaking their language, validating their everyday expression, making them feel that their voice mattered in his songs. Beyond the controversies, beyond the headlines, Zubeen gave back quietly, consistently, powerfully. Environmental work, flood relief, supporting the underprivileged. During the pandemic, he offered his own house as a COVID care center. Not his money, not his name, his actual house. That's not celebrity charity, that's human compassion in its purest form. September 19th, 2025, the day the music died. Singapore, the Northeast India Festival, a scuba diving trip gone wrong. Breathing complications, rushed to hospital, and suddenly, silence. At 52, when he had so much more to give, the heartbeat stopped. But here's where the story becomes about more than one man. Witnesses reported he wasn't wearing a life jacket during the yacht outing, that staff had pleaded with him to put one on. Grief transformed into rage. Thousands gathered outside his home, demanding answers, demanding accountability. This wasn't just mourning, this was ownership. The cruel irony haunts everything. Zubeen had spoken about where he wanted to die. People should burn me there when I die or wash me in the Brahmaputra. I am a soldier. I am like a Rambo. He wanted to die in Assam, by the Brahmaputra river. Instead, he died in foreign waters, far from the soil that shaped his soul. So what did Zubeen Garg contribute? He proved that authenticity doesn't require staying small, that you can embrace the world without abandoning your roots. That courage isn't the absence of fear, it's singing your truth even when threatened, even when criticized, even when the cost is everything you have. He showed us that a heartbeat once started can continue long after the heart stops beating, in every song, every memory, in every young person who refuses to be silenced. Zubeen Garg didn't just contribute to music, he contributed to the very idea that being yourself, completely, unapologetically, dangerously yourself, is the highest form of art, and maybe the most revolutionary act of all. That's all for today on UPSCwise. If you found this video helpful, hit like, share thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to grab the PDF notes on my Telegram, link in the description. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep moving closer to your IAS dream. Jai Hind.